Hello. I hope everybody's having a wonderful week so far. It is Tuesday the 3rd, so we're already into August. Yeah, let's see if anybody that gets on this, please give it a little comment if you saw it on the replay. Yeah, as far as these lives are concerned, I want to answer questions that you have, whether it be about nutrition, training, hormone support, basically anything that you want to know. A lot of what I do has to do with training, nutrition, and hormone support to match your cycle, to help you get better fat loss results, gain muscle mass, support your hormones, balance your hormones, have a better life overall. So if there are questions that you have in regards to any of that, please ask me. I will, make sure that I do a post about it, or, get on here and talk about it live. So today I want to talk about mindset, and I also had a request for some mobility. So as far as mobility is concerned, because I love you guys, I'm going to post some of my favorite mobility kind of series. So if you haven't followed it, or if you don't know what it is, Kinstretch is great for mobilizing joints to help prevent injury. So I will post in here a link to my favorite Kinstretch shoulder mobility and my favorite Kinstretch hip mobility, since those are some of the areas that most people have issues with when it comes to getting better squat depth, getting, relieving back pain even. So from the standpoint of mobility, so your ankle is a mobile joint, your knee is a stable joint, your hip's a mobile joint, and your spine is stable. So if you are having issues with one of those, then it can refer pain to one of the other joints. So say your hips are all jammed up, that could refer pain into your low back or your knees. Same things for shoulders. So wrist is a mobile joint, elbow is a stable joint, shoulder is a mobile joint. So if your shoulder is not moving properly, you may start to get elbow pain. So just keep that in mind. I will post those videos in here so that you guys can benefit from that and practice that multiple times a week if you are suffering from issues of either hip, knee, shoulder, elbow issues. If you have any questions about them, let me know. Now, let's talk about mindset. So, mindset when it comes to making changes. So, things to consider when it comes to making changes. You are essentially pursuing someone that you currently are not. So when you are making the choice to pursue weight loss goals or health goals, like getting, fitter, getting, gaining endurance, choosing to live a healthier lifestyle, just understand that you are pursuing an identity or something different than you currently are. So who you currently are, you have established habits. They're things that you don't even think about on a daily basis because they are habits. They're just automatic. So in order to start to change habits, to change the direction that you're going in, then you have to start to become aware of bad habits and start to break those habit circles and start to implement new habits. So think about it this way. In an effort of changing by 1% or changing your current direction of health, if you were to implement something that changed your direction by 1% every day, then you would end up in a completely different direction than you're currently heading. So there's a great book, it's called Atomic Habits, and I suggest anyone listen to it, read it. It's a great book about breaking bad habits, establishing new habits. So in that book, they talk about how if someone was to fly from California to New York and they were to change their direction by just a couple degrees, they would end up hundreds of miles from their current intended destination. So same thing goes for your goals. If you were to change your direction or your habits by just 1%, 2%, just a couple different things, then you could change the direction of your health by hundreds of miles, essentially. and get closer to that goal of being that healthy person that you want to be. Now, things that kind of come up, like roadblocks that kind of come up along the way. So habits are established, they're automatic, so we need to become aware of them. Now the thing is, that doesn't mean we're not going to fall back into those habits here and there. So you need to be able to give yourself the grace of being like, hey, it's okay. Like, I used to do that. I recognize that no longer supports who I want to be. And that's okay that it happened. But I'm going to now make my next vote or my next action be something for the person I intend on becoming. Because that's what we want to do. We want to make more votes for the person we intend on becoming versus the person that we are currently. Because the actions that we are currently doing are keeping us where we are. And if we want to be somewhere different, we need to change those actions. And we need to not get mad at ourselves if we fall back into habits that were previously automatic. Now, another thing to consider, the people around you. So sometimes we get pushback from those people that are around us. Now, it could be because they're afraid of losing the person that they see you as. And therefore, they are going to push back at you. They are going to kind of almost sabotage you a bit. They might question like how serious you are about a certain goal. And it has to do with more what's going on in them versus you. So, when people kind of say things to you, just understand, like, it's probably not meant, like, if they're supportive of you, if they care about your health, then they're probably not saying it with the intention of sabotaging you. What they don't understand is that, when we change, when we're pursuing a different goal, like, it's hard. It's hard for someone to completely change who they were and everything that they knew about themselves, because they know that to be healthy and to be the person they want to be in the future, they need to start making changes today. And, the people around you, they're used to you being a certain person. I remember when I was healthy, but I really kind of dove into more of my kind of health journey at a point where I decided that like drinking wasn't supporting my health goal. And I remember the friends that like I would go out, Friday, Saturday, like the days that I didn't drink were like once a month, like seriously. And which is, night and day difference from where I am today. But I remember it was hard for me to hang out with those friends that, going on the boat. And it was like, when you got on the boat, the first thing that was offered to you was a drink, like, hey, pour a drink. And as I started pursuing my fitness and health goals, I was like, no, I brought my water, or I brought my sparkling water, and I was good. And it was really hard to do that because, one, like, I knew myself as a different person in that situation. And alcohol was involved in that situation, but I knew that no longer supported my goals. The people that were out there, they knew me as a certain person. They knew me as a person, and generally alcohol was involved with that person. So it was hard for them as well. So, and they of course said the things, oh, just one drink, just do this, like just one, it's not going to hurt you. And, it was really hard to stick to my guns at that point in time, but I did it because I knew that the person that I wanted to become, that wasn't something that would support them. So just a couple things, like when you are pursuing your goals, just understand that it is you pursuing a future identity. It is you embracing that future identity as now. It is you understanding that it is hard for the people around you to accept that you are pursuing, or that you are going to become someone different. It is hard for them to know how to act around you. It might make them uncomfortable. It might make them feel like they're not doing enough for their whole health goals. But understand that it is about them, not about you. Like, stay true to your health goals and what you want to accomplish. Another example that they used in the Atomic Habit that was really good. So they took the example of two people that were working on giving up smoking, and how like the way you speak to a goal is important as well. So embracing the identity of the person you wish to become. So they used the example of two people that were giving up smoking, and they were both offered a cigarette, and one of them responded back with, "No, I'm trying to quit." And the other one responded back with, "No, I'm not a smoker." So in that example, who is more committed to their goals? The person that is still trying to no longer be a smoker, or the person that is no longer a smoker? That is no longer their identity. So they are more likely to be the ones that are committed to their goals. So anyways, another thing in regards to mindset, you may notice, I'm going to bring it back to the cycle and everything. You may notice that your mindset shifts throughout the month in your monthly cycle. Now, this is hard. Like for women specifically, not understanding why, 1 week we can be like all into our goals, like nothing is going to derail us, like I'm so committed, like I am so strong, I'm in this and everything is easy and I could do this forever. And then a week later, it's like, oh my gosh, I have all these cravings. Oh my gosh, I feel like crap, like I feel weak, I feel like I can't do this. And just so you know, like those kind of feelings are natural, but there are things you can do from a nutritional side of things to help kind of lessen them. So what's going on is basically during the second half of your cycle, at ovulation kicks off basically the release of progesterone. So progesterone helps you feel calm and chill during that third week in your cycle, and then progesterone drops off. With it also decreases serotonin and dopamine, and blood sugars become unstable. So that means that your basically reward neurotransmitters are taking a dip, so your body is going to seek out foods that will elicit a similar response. Blood sugars highly fluctuate, so that means you could have an insulin spike, a crash, which could trigger hunger. Overall, with that change in progesterone, there is a change in sodium set point, which means we see additional water retention. That also means that there's a redistribution of fluids, which means that plasma volume actually changes, so there's not as much oxygen carried to your muscles. Progesterone also has an effect on your respiratory rate and your resting heart rate. So you may feel like exercise is harder because there's less oxygen being delivered to your muscles, as well as it's just harder from a respiratory standpoint anyways. So those kind of things can play with our minds a little bit and make us question our goals. But the thing is, there are things you can do to support this to make it not so impactful on your goals, but just kind of understand what's going on. Like, knowledge is power in this. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. Hopefully this was informative and helpful for you guys. And yeah, I think that's all I had noted for today, but I will post those videos on mobility. And yeah, let me know if there's anything else you guys need. Have a wonderful week.